Hello, my name is Anna Ilina. I'm a senior software engineer at Uber. My background field is Android mobile development. And Uber, you probably have heard about this company. It's the company that brings the world in motion by providing taxi services, eats delivery, and potentially many other stuff. So I always wanted to be a software engineer ever since I remember myself, and I went to a school with specialization in mathematics and programming. Then I entered university, the Faculty of Applied Mathematics, which was famous for preparing young developers in my home city. However, later I realized that the knowledge they are giving me actually wasn't the best fit for the nowadays world, and we were also short on money in my family, and I had to make a bold decision to drop the university and to go find work. So I finished Android courses and I started as an Android developer for a set-top box company. After a year there, I decided that most potential of the market lies in mobile development for Android. So I switched to another company. We were building something like Instagram, but for videos, very complex technically, and also an interesting product. And then after several years, I grew up from a regular engineer to a team leader, a senior developer, and that's where Booking.com found me. They asked me out for an interview, and it was in Amsterdam, so of course I agreed. I passed the interviews, I accepted the offer, and I relocated. After about 5 years with them, I joined Uber as a senior software engineer, and here I am. Normally, I start from trying to find out what exactly my goal is, and gather as much knowledge as I can about the ways to achieve it, what risks I can take. That is accompanied with what I would call procrastination, and it can go in circles, gathering knowledge, procrastination. Why procrastination? I think this is because it takes time to accept that, okay, now I have that goal, okay, now the landscape looks like that. And after a while, if I'm sure that the goal is what I really want and that I have enough knowledge, I start to build up my understanding of the way to achieve it. And then once I understand clearly what it takes and what path looks like, it's just as easy as following the path.
Cats or dogs?
Of course cats, come on cats!
Online meetings or offline meetings?
I like both. Like if I have to have a meeting with San Francisco, I would probably prefer it to be offline, but my business thinks otherwise, so that will be an online meeting. But if I need to participate heavily and if a lot of other people are in the room, then I love offline because it gives a socialization vibe. But if my participation is not that I'm more of a listener there, then online is just a better format.
A big company or a small company?
This is a very interesting question, and everyone will have their own answer to this one. I don't have a clear answer. I love the vibe of a big company, which I worked for last 6 years. And I love that I'm surrounded by a lot of smart people. I learn a lot from them. I can have career growth and impact on a huge scale, because big companies would normally have very popular products. On the other hand, small companies are also fun in a way that you can have more impact on the product. Normally, the development cycle is much faster. So I'm not sure, maybe changing them from time to time, or just finding the one that works for you better. For me, at this point, it's big companies. So once I had a period in my life, very rough period, when I had a lot of emotions in my head and I was struggling to cope with them, and I basically I really wanted to ask a guy out for a coffee, but I found a huge blocker somehow. I just couldn't. I thought, what if he says no, and then my life is thrown to pieces. And I went to a psychologist, and she listened to me. She told me a very dirty joke that I will not repeat here, but basically the morale was that you can try something and you can get slammed on your face for that, but you can also get that. And I was thinking a lot about that, and I made it a kind of my motto. If you want something, yeah, you can get in trouble probably, but you can also get that. So whenever now I am thinking that, okay, shall I ask someone out, or shall I apply for a job, or shall I voice out my opinion? Yeah, I can probably get in trouble, but whatever, I just try it and see what happens. And to be honest, this advice has never ever let me down. I think that the goal and the path is to find yourself, and as complex and as vague as that might sound, this is what we should do in our lives. We should live our own lives, not someone else's. And but how do you find yourself? This is the tricky one, right? So in my opinion, we do it by trying. So I would advise to try things, legal things preferably, not harmful things. But I come from Ukraine, and this is, in a way, it's still a sexist society, at least it was in the way when I was growing up. They would tell me that I need to do embroidery and sewing while I wanted to do carpentry, for example, at school. So sometimes people will tell you this is not for you, and sometimes people will tell you this is for you. And that's a message that I keep hearing from other women from like East Europe when I mentor them to become Android developers like me. I think you should try and you should find out. Sometimes things that other people say are not for you will be for you. Sometimes they will not be for you. But the main idea is not to follow someone else's perception or even your perception about how you would like to see yourself, but rather try to connect with your true identity and find out what makes you happy and what does not.